for fun. I'm Grant.
I'm Colin. We are brothers.
Yes, we are. We are brothers.
And we combine aspects of movies we love with the game that we love to play.
I agree. Couldn't have said it better myself.
Mm-hmm.
Cheers one more time, and now we're supposed to drink.
We got to drink twice now.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so what's the movie we're doing today? Is it's my pick.
Your pick.
Yeah,
what is that pick, bud?
I picked Highlander.
Highlander.
The Highlander.
Good pick, bud.
Thank you.
I had a good time actually looking up the stuff that I looked up.
Nice. Yeah, definitely.
It's gonna be a good time.
Yeah, researching Highlander, nothing but fun. Nothing but fun.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's give a quick breakdown of what Highlander is. I've been talking to some of my friends, and they didn't know what the heck I was talking about.
Because they're all zygotes.
Yeah, I agree. Educate yourself, people. Get to know Highlander because it's beautiful.
Get to know Highlander.
So pause the video. I'm
Become
kidding.
friends
Just keep
with
watching it.
Highlander.
You'll figure it out.
Yeah.
So what is Highlander?
Essentially, bunch of mortal dudes rolling around Earth, beheading each other until there is but one left.
But one left.
But one.
They roll one for fun. Yeah. Yes. Just it's simple. It's just these immortals. They roll around. There's no explanation given.
Yeah.
You don't need one.
I mean, a little bit, but
maybe. But yeah, you basically just walk around. They're killing themselves. Okay, cool.
Well,
they
not
have
themselves, but
swords.
each other.
And
lopping
they have
heads.
swords.
It's the only way.
It's the only way, and there
Lopping
can be
head.
only one.
There can only be one.
And there can be only
Cut an arm off. Still immortal.
No, still immortal. It'll
so
go
not
back.
really immortal.
You cannot die, MacLeod. Accept it. I hate you.
They're immortal save for getting your head cut off.
Yeah, they don't tell you that little addendum.
If your head comes away from your neck, it's over.
They do, they sneak that in at the end. It's kind of like when I became Mormon. Time for, that's for another video. Okay, so no longer Mormon, just so you know. Okay, but before we get started, don't forget to like and subscribe.
And subscribe.
Because next week we're going to have another video. It's going to be Colin's. You're not going to want to miss that pick.
You're not
so
going to want to.
Subscribing helps us out a lot. Also leave comments. Tell us how stupid we are, how Highlander is overrated,
how big my fat belly is,
our bellies, and then just tell us everything you can about if you have any ideas or suggestions, things we messed up. Are you using any of the things that we're talking about? Let us know. We love talking about D&D, and we love talking to you, viewer,
to you.
So let's start it off. How do you want to start this off?
I think
I'm gonna drink while you.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and actually have a drink after you have a drink. I started the last one. This is your pick.
Damn,
you start this one.
Hoping you'd let me get off on that. Okay. We're gonna start by talking about items.
Items. Cool.
Magical items in Highlander. How do we infuse Highlander into our Dungeons and Dragons games?
Right.
Okay. So I'm gonna start it off. Awesome.
Yeah, please do.
Really obvious. You probably came up with the same thing. So I came up with a necklace somebody would adorn, and it is called the Quickening.
The sensation you're feeling is the quickening.
Oh, no. That's smart.
Okay, cool.
I like it. I did not do that.
I forget where I came up with the necklace, but it just seemed right. So a necklace you adorn,
that's
and
cool.
It's the Quickening. So while you're wearing this necklace, your walking speed increases by 40. So in the movie, there is a scene where he, who is it? The Spaniard?
Yeah, the Spaniard.
Yeah, he's So he's the guy that is teaching.
Are you talking about the stag scene?
Yeah, the stag scene. So he's explaining to MacLeod, and he's like, they're running, and he's like, you feel that?
Feel it.
And we're watching these deers in the background, going crazy, and they're running, and we were like, I don't know why, and he's like, it's the Quickening, and it's like, cool.
And he was like, I feel it!
And they're running. So I was like, okay. So obviously the necklace of the Quickening, it's got to give you a walking speed of 40.
Yeah.
Also, you no longer age. Because, you're immortal. So while you wear it, which is kind of cool, because you could take it off and then you're like, you just wither away. Oh, it'd be like Bilbo
Game of
Baggins
Thrones style.
Nice. Yeah. What? When does that happen in Game of Thrones?
The red lady.
She
She takes her necklace off.
Yeah, that's
and
right,
it's like
dude.
the old.
Oh, that's awesome.
She gets real.
I hope whoever
old,
we have edit this puts that in there.
unfuckable.
That's gonna be a cool
Is
clip.
that,
Make a note. Put that clip in there.
Misogyny.
Okay. So also once per day, you also with the quickening thing. I'm like adding a lot of stuff to this very magical item. You get the
kind of magic.
you get the commune with nature spell.
Magic.
It's a kind of magic.
It's a kind of So you get the commune with nature spell. Do you know what that is?
Cool.
We used it in our campaign. One of our characters has that. So you get to know everything within like a 3-mile area or something like that. You know, like all the nature, beasts, everything about it and stuff. And I thought that really enveloped the quickening.
This is the quickening! Yeah!
That's
That you get
exactly
from
what it does.
Yeah. Shout
Nailed
out
it.
to my boy Devin. I talked to him about this, and he talked about it, and we discussed it. He had like a cup thing that he wanted you to drink out of, but I made it a necklace.
Yeah,
so,
yeah, which is better.
Yeah, cool. So that's my
Devin,
item.
his cup.
Do you have any suggestions or any kind of like comments about it?
I mean, that pretty much nails the quickening ability, really.
Good brother.
Getting the senses of your surroundings to kind of really get you going.
Yeah.
Get those juices flowing.
I agree.
And I think you nailed that quickening
bro.
ability.
Cheers.
Yeah, cheers.
All right.
How's that for a slice of fried gold?
So in second
Clang.
place, Colin's magical item.
You got to drink when you cheers, bud.
Thanks. Rules. Comment below.
So I did Connor McLeod's sword.
Yeah, that's cool.
Well,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
so
Somebody's got to
it was actually the Spaniard's sword first.
Okay.
Because McLeod's sword, it was cool. It said McLeod on it, which is pretty rad.
Oh, yeah. That's cool. Yeah, that's right.
But it's just, it's your kind of regular run of the mill
And it's from
steel
back in the day,
longsword.
so it might not be as good,
Right.
Right,
yeah,
It looked cool,
yeah.
but he's maybe wants more of a finesse weapon.
Speaking of back in the day, this is an ancient blade, right? Because it was crafted by a Japanese master bladesmith named Masume
Nice.
as a wedding gift for marrying his daughter.
It's Atari Hanzo steel?
And it's better.
Better than Hanzo steel?
Yep. It was forged in
In Mordor?
Destroy it!
537 BC.
Oh, wow.
I think it was. I think it's 30.
Wow, you just know this movie that well? Good job.
Which I believe in the movie it said it's like finding
747, 1,000 years before the Wright brothers ever flew.
invented.
I remember that. That. That's cool.
Yep. It's kind of a mysterious blade. So I figured you could make it
rules.
and because when he cut, that like cheesy banker dude at the beginning of the movie, when he finished
so
him
weird.
off,
He's so cool and
his
weird.
sword sunk into the concrete, right? So I figured let's make it adamantine first.
Nice. Oh,
Because that's cool.
Gotta go into concrete.
That's cool.
And adamantium.
Yeah,
sounds
I mean, you're just gonna cut through regular non-magical steel blades.
what is
like
the
it's
metal
butter.
in
Adamantium.
Wolverine's? You didn't let me finish.
It's adamantine.
In Wolverine's blades.
Oh, and Wolverine's blades.
His blades, yeah.
Not only his blades, but his skeleton itself is adamantine.
Nerd.
Nerd. So ancient adamantine. Let's make it. I mean, it's versatile.
Cool.
Because that's just a long sword. It's versatile. 1d8, one-handed. This would be a 1d8 plus 3 weapon.
Yeah.
But 1d10 versatile with 2 hands.
Cool.
Bumps up to 1d10 plus 3.
This is a good sword.
And the Vorpal aspect of this blade, of course, very fitting. Got to cut heads off. On a DC 20 roll, decapitation.
Nice. Vorpal sword. What a smart.
So that's like a crit. That's like an ultimate crit, right?
Yeah.
You're
Good
cutting that head
idea
off.
with the Vorpal
Done.
sword. That was
Yeah.
really cool.
Thank you.
I liked it a lot. Good job.
Also, I've got an aspect of a character later that that
teaser
that has the quickening ability, right? And I'll explain what the quickening ability is.
Is it like a feat?
That it's more like just like a natural innate ability that this character is going to have once we get to it.
Okay. Cool. I like where it's going.
While using this item with quickening enabled, you can add an additional 1d6 lightning damage on top of that. Remember at the end of the movie where they're all like sparks and lightning and shit flying around when they're sword fighting?
Yep.
Let's throw a little lightning damage on top of that while the quickening is enabled.
Because, in the end scene especially that I'm thinking of right now, they're like sparks fly, and then there's like electricity in the water, so it's not that clear, but these immortals seem to have some kind of quickening electricity.
Yeah.
It's the quickening.
They have something. It's not outlined perfectly. Which
oh
is
man!
awesome.
And when they get the head off,
lightning shit everywhere.
Quickening AF everywhere.
Okay, buddy. What should we? Cool. So we're done with items.
Items. Yep.
That's too bad. That was fun.
Yeah, that was fun.
Okay.
That was fun.
So next, your turn.
NPCs, right? I figure
NPCs.
What better NPC than Juan Sanchez Villalobos Ramirez, otherwise known as the Spaniard, who is from Egypt.
Yep. Makes sense at all.
I mean, I guess if you live for 2,563 or 74 or however many years you lived, you get a little eclectic. You know, like you may be from Egypt.
I'm glad you said that. Yeah.
But you have a Scottish accent.
Yep.
Even though you're called the Spaniard.
You talk funny, Nash. Where are you from?
Lots of different places.
So I think people give him a hard time for playing the character as like, oh, he just has a Scottish accent still. But I think it's because like these guys are traveling. They've lived hundreds or thousands of years.
You try to keep an accent straight.
Yeah, and you're changing identities.
Oh, you've been all over the world.
You're going over the world. You're... Yeah, like we just talked
about. You know all
Japan,
the languages. You've been around for thousands of years. You know all the languages. Dead languages.
Yeah. So what is this NPC?
You get weird.
I don't know how many years on this earth I got left. I'm gonna get real weird with it.
So so in the movie, this Spaniard, Sean Connery's character, is a mentor to Connor McLeod.
Nice. So will in the game, in your campaign, he'll be a mentor to you? To the party?
Kind of like a traveling companion, if you will, to the party.
Nice.
Not really so much cleric or but more like just like an old mentor, an old wise companion, road companion, to kind of give your characters kind of a heads up about situations. And maybe their abilities as they learn them as they move along through the campaign. Also maybe buffing here and there, right? With some abilities like dropping that knowledge.
Oh, I thought you meant like buffing like
Oh, I do.
Okay.
Yeah, like buffing and spells too. Okay. Yeah. I figured because, they're working with this kind of magic, they say. It's a kind of magic. That throw a little quickening on this guy, throw a little
quickening, you
gotta sprinkle some quickening. I kind of give him I'd give him some like veteran stats, just kind of as a base.
Oh, okay. That's a good one to have for a base
It's a
stat.
Good like.
I always have that guy ready to go.
Exactly.
On him.
Of course, being the Spaniard, I would maybe up his charisma and dex a little bit. Right. So I figured you could kind of give him some minor bard spells, as I figured with the frilly get up that he's got going, he kind of has a bard look to him and kind of a mysteriousness to him. Maybe more roguelike. But I like the bard spell. I mean, easy enough, like enhance ability, right? So
bard spells. That's
buffing
really cool.
The party with give him.
Oh, he would be a good
enhance
bard.
ability for like Cat's Grace or Eagle Splendor.
He would be a bard.
Yeah,
that's very cool.
Yeah,
He looks.
Or
like
even
a bard,
get
up.
Yeah. Multi-class as a bard, even maybe
That's
just
cool.
For a couple of bard spells.
So like a fighter and a bard mix or something.
And of course, armed with a with his katana. I mean, his katana is the item that I explained.
Can you explain it again?
Just
Was
a moment
it a
ago.
vorpal sword?
It is a vorpal sword.
Nice, dude. And you
Yeah.
can decapitate
So you
people
can
with
lop that head off with a DC-20,
or
no
limbs
problem.
too, right? But it is up to the dungeon master, right? I think if you can just... So that you don't come across a villain and it's like, oh, I'm going to fight this dragon. Oh, I rolled a 20 and we cut off his head. And it's like, he's Tiamat.
So there are rules to vorpal, right? If the neck is too big... Then you just do a series of D6 damage instead.
Yep. Okay. Yep.
So you're not going to go lopping the heads off of dragons or giants. Right. But say your average foe or above average foe, either on a rooftop or say a car park.
Cool.
You can lop their heads off, no problem. Yeah.
Dude, lopping off heads is so cool. You don't get to do that enough.
So I think I mentioned more lopping off heads than I actually did the Spaniard with this, but
it's what you guys came to.
Spaniards lopped off heads for 2,000 years.
That's a good point.
So
historically,
it's a good guy to have in your party, and I feel like a good NPC to have to help you along the way.
I think you've done good.
Thanks, bud.
Okay, for my NPC, I picked McLeod.
Connor McLeod himself.
Connor McLeod.
The Highlander himself.
Yeah, so he's an NPC that's not so much the teacher, the mentor. He's on a mission. I don't know how you run into him, but you might just be in a village. You know, you just got done with a wrestling match. You just got done watching the wrestling match. You go down to the equivalent of a parking garage in Dungeons & Dragons. What is a parking garage in Dungeons & Dragons?
Especially if you're mortal.
You go down there, and there's some people fighting. Mm-hmm. There's a banker and some other guy fighting it. Yep. And then the guy cuts his head off, and then lightning shoots everywhere, and you're like...
Blows the cars apart.
And blows the cars apart, and he's like flying. And
Quickening
like,
is real good for smashing.
And you're like... If the party runs into something like this, like, I need to know who this guy is. I want to talk to this guy. I want to get that power.
And I want to know where he got his sunglasses. That he
I want to know where those sunglasses are.
And that comb over.
Yeah.
Oh, he's looking immortal.
So I made him a... So that can start off like a whole quest. You know, it's like, obviously, just like the movie. It's like, hey, help me out. There's these bad immortals. I'm a good immortal. You know, you can also play with that too. I'm a good immortal. And so you go on, join him on his quest to go hunt down some people. Yeah. And of course, he has a vorpal sword too. Yeah. So,
I mean, it's
how could you not? When you mentioned, I was like, of course we're both gonna come up with vorpal swords because it's.
Chopping heads off. These guys chop heads off.
If we didn't add that, you people would be saying, have they even seen Highlander?
What do you mean, you people?
Why did they not?
What do you mean, you people?
Dungeon Dragons players. What do you mean by that? Okay, so I actually created him. I cheated a little bit.
Liar!
And I also came up with a feat. Because I remember your NPC had like an ability. And I was like, do you mean like a feat, you know?
Yeah.
So I gave my guy a feat that I made up called, not creatively, I called it, there can be only one feat.
There could be only one feat.
Yeah. I mean, there can only be one. What else are you going to call it?
There can be only one.
There can only be one. So,
is this the only feat you get to take, though?
Well, that's what you're... Yeah. Because there can only be one.
It's the only feat he gets to take.
Like, we'll see about that. So he comes innate with the ability called there can be only one. So anytime after you kill an enemy, any creature within 5 feet of you gets pushed back 10 feet. So like in the movie, when he lops off people's heads, he gets that power and everything like blows up.
Yeah, no, that's great.
Yeah, so I figured
and you love your crowd control.
Yeah, thank you. I do. I'm a sucker for crowd control. So I thought it'd be really cool to have everybody push, and it could really add for some interesting role, like playing abilities. Stuff like
absolutely.
That. So he has the vorpal sword. Did I say that yet?
Vorpal. Vorpal. Oh, right.
Oh, drink every time you hear vorpal sword.
You're gonna hear it a lot. You're gonna get wasted.
Hell yeah. Okay, so I made him a human paladin and the Oath of Devotion.
Yeah.
Because he's like a good guy. Yeah. He's what is the thing? He's honest. He's courageous. He's compassionate. He isn't like all goody two shoes, but he is. If you're gonna give him something, he is. I mean, he's a noble guy, but
immortal or not, to be human is to err is to be human.
What is it they say? To err is
To err is human. To err is human! So
a couple things come with the oath of devotion. So he has... Okay, so for one thing, I did give him the cape of water breathing. Because I'm like...
Oh, the
scene where he's under the water.
He's afraid of drowning. Yeah. The Spaniard knocks him off the boat.
Yeah, that's like his first experience with being immortality.
Yeah.
So I thought...
It like proves to him ultimately that he is actually immortal.
And if you want to prove it to me that you're immortal, breathe underwater.
I want to watch you drown.
I'm drowning! I'm drowning!
Yeah, if you're a witch, you drown.
That's dark and weird.
Thank you. Okay, so he also gets Zone of Truth. So remember when he's on the date with that girl, and he can like figure out everything, and he's like, he like finds her recording. What's her name? Brenda.
Yeah.
So he opens up the thing and he knows she's recording.
Little hope chest or something that she's got there with the tape recorder in there. Yeah.
And then he sees outside and he sees the cops. Yeah. They're like waiting outside. So I thought Zone of Truth, because he gets the truth out of her. And then what does he do?
Nobody tell that actor he turns into a real fat bastard. But anyway.
Yeah. So what does he do? He like gets the truth out of her, and then they bang.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I don't know why, but I mean, he's immortal. Why wouldn't you want to? So what else did I give him? I gave him sorry.
And then they bang. Dirty.
Crazy. Yeah. So for another feat,
it's a good sex scene too. It's pretty good.
It's not that.
You get some shadowy side boob. You get some rolling around. You get to see his ass. You get to see her stuff. It's good.
Oh, he's a linguist.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. So he has that. So he has a feat of the linguist, because he goes all over the world, and in the movie he has to. That's how they kind of catch him. They're figuring out his
right.
He has like a code, so he writes different names and stuff like that, and but they cipher it out.
Yeah.
And you can do ciphering with the linguist, and he speaks all the languages. So I thought he should speak all these languages, because he would if he's a real Highlander. He's gonna be able to speak Japanese like the Spaniard and all these things. So that's it for McLeod.
Dude, that was good. That was way more in depth than mine.
That was like an hour long. I'm sorry about that.
I mean, that was a good description of McLeod, though.
Cool.
Yeah, you nailed it.
So I think he's cool. So we could have both these guys in this game that we're talking about.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. Okay, cool.
Absolutely.
All right, good. Let's move on then.
Hell yeah,
let's
man.
Go to...
Ooh, I guess this would be the final. The monster.
The juicy monster.
We're getting to next.
Can I get a chair?
Yeah, I think you can get a cheers.
Yeah, let's do it.
And cheers to you guys.
You. Nice.
So, speaking of weird, strangely businessy looking guy in the beginning in the parking garage in Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
He has a name, and he is an opponent to fight.
Cool, dude.
My monster is going to be Iman Facile.
Nice.
Not a lot of history on this guy. I didn't find a lot of history on him, but he fights cooler than he looks, for sure.
Explain.
Although in 1985 he was looking pretty dope. He had that sweet kind of fake blonde comb over.
Yeah,
it looked like it was maybe yellowed white hair.
Yep.
Or maybe it was just blonde. I don't know. He's not that cool looking guy.
No.
But I figured
you got to keep a low profile if you're gonna stay immortal for your whole time.
Right.
You can't look that cool, because people are like, "Who's the guy with like the leather jacket walking, the leather duster coming in?" It's
exactly.
Like, that guy's immortal. Yeah. No way.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You gotta disguise.
Yeah.
You know, or maybe he ran out of disguises and just went with that piece of shit. Either way.
Yeah.
His name is Iman Facile.
Laundry day, I guess.
And I was looking. And in Tosh's, they have a series of builds that you can do with fighters. And I like, what better than the duelist fighter? Fighting style, dueling, of course.
Yeah. Cool.
I like the, of course, he's one-handed, one weapon. A fighter, duelist, of course.
Yep.
And with, of course, this is going to be a subclass of the champion fighter, right? So you have all your maneuvers. The maneuvers could be evasive footwork, feigning attack, lunging attack, parry, precision attack, and riposte. All good maneuvers
This guy's tough.
moves that this guy's going to use. Not just a fighter. I would throw in maybe a few levels of rogue. Give him some rogue abilities. Because in the movie, as you notice, he does use his stealthiness to kind of to hide and get away. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Armed with a Toledo Salamanca. Now in the movie, it says it's worth at least $1 million. This is a nice sword. I mean, any antiques dealer on Hudson Street could tell you this. This is a Vorpal sword, of course. It's got to be Vorpal every time these guys have a Vorpal sword. If you're going to be on this planet as an immortal for 2,000 years or so, cutting heads off,
gotta have your Vorpal sword.
You gotta have a Vorpal sword. +3 to hit. Decapitates with the D20 roll, of course. And he has the innate ability that he could use once a day called what? The Quickening.
The Quickening, yeah.
It's the Quickening.
I was
Quickening.
looking at my notes. I was like, what is this guy somewhere?
There's kind of two ways you could use the Quickening, right? Inside combat, outside combat.
Cool.
I figured with this ability, Quickening, you can give it maybe as it'd be a pretty strong feat, but maybe give it to somebody. I mean, like that. Having that on a necklace was genius. That was smart. Quickening in combat. Just as simple as giving advantage on attack rolls and saving throws.
He's too dangerous to be left alive.
Outside combat gives advantage on skill checks.
I like that it has advantages for outside and inside.
Like the stag scene. It goes back to that stag scene again, where pull from your surroundings and feel it. You get into it. Oh, you get going.
Yeah.
It gives you advantage on those attack rolls and saving throws.
And like outside of combat as well, which is really cool.
Yep.
Nice.
You want to give this guy high dex for dexterity checks and AC, of course.
Yeah. Because remember the dex scene?
Yeah.
I mean, when he's...
With the backflips, he does 20 or 40 or 60 in a row. It's a lot.
It's cool. It's
almost so
lot.
Cool. It's not
in the movie.
that
You're
cool.
like, this doesn't really. This can't be a good way to maneuver. But it's
also can't be the guy. It is. It's him. That's him on Facile doing that. You think a guy who looks like that can't do that?
Are you fucking with me? I don't know. Okay. I don't know. I'm like, was that his stuff? Okay. Got me. I was like,
yeah. Like I said, throw in some rogue ability checks. Like cunning action, so he can disengage and do all of that cool stuff. You're making him even like a drow character might even fit pretty well in those kind of. He's creepy, stays in a dark place, is great with a sword.
I love this. Now we can get our cousin Jacob to watch this video because we mentioned drow.
There we go.
That boy loves the drow.
He loves the drow.
Yeah. So watch this video.
So I'm thinking, that was my monster. It was
nice. Thank you for picking that guy because that guy's cool. I wouldn't have picked him because I went with the obvious choice, and I'm glad that you didn't. You were courageous enough to go with somebody that was not named.
Thank you.
The Kurgan.
The Kurgan. I figured. I figured.
Not? And I'm glad you didn't do it.
With this being your idea, I figured you'd probably go with the Kurgan. He is the coolest character.
He's the coolest, and like we were talking about earlier, it's like, oh, you got to be incognito. Not the Kurgan. He doesn't give a fuck.
He doesn't give a fuck.
He just goes to the hotel. He constructs his sword, and he's in all kinds of weird stuff, and he's wearing all this like punk rock clothes. He's shaving his head.
The sword
is so cool. I don't know if that really works.
It's great for getting it through customs.
Yeah, man. It's like
maybe they can't.
It reminds
detect
me of
adamantine.
They don't have that kind of technology yet.
Yeah,
we don't have that kind of technology yet. I wanted to start him off with something strong for his stats. So I gave him, which is a good way to monster create.
Yeah.
You start off with a monster that has things you like, and then you add on to it. So I went with, which is kind of crazy, but this guy's kind of crazy, and he's kind of strong a little bit. Storm Giant.
Oh!
Which is a lot. Can you imagine a Storm Giant, but into a smaller, into a smaller size?
Yeah.
It's like, this guy's fucking crazy. So a thing.
I mean, he could be like a Goliath or something, but with Storm Giant.
Yeah, definitely. Because he does
something,
I don't know who plays him. That actor's cool. But he also
SpongeBob boy. He's the voice of
that blows me away.
Mr.
You
Krabs.
remind me of that constantly, and it
that's crazy, isn't it?
It blows me up. So cool things about the Storm Giant that I thought worked really well. First one, he can breathe underwater. He has water breathing.
Clancy Brown, by the way.
Clancy Brown. So he has water breathing.
Of course. Yeah.
So there you go. That. Boom. Off the bat. Also, he has an ability called Lightning Strike. Which I loved because you brought up the lightning
damage,
and I was like, oh man, I'm gonna blow.
Great minds think alike, or equally dumb ones.
So he can shoot lightning and stuff like that, which is really cool.
I like that.
And what else? What does he have what does he have as a weapon?
Cool.
I'll give you a couple minutes. I'll just hang back here, drink my beer while you think about what weapon he would have.
Thinking.
Take your time. Take your time.
I'm thinking this is gonna be like it's got to be a sword, right? I'm thinking a sword. Keep drinking. It's taking me a while to think of this. Vorpal.
God, a Vorpal. Yeah, good guess, dude. Vorpal sword. Yeah.
Everybody drink. Cheers.
Oh yeah, Vorpal sword. Yep. Drink. Yeah, because this guy's lopping off heads. So I came up with I gave him a couple feats too. So to add on to not just the Storm Giant, which is going to make this guy ridiculous. Dungeon Masters, you might want to adjust some things. But anyways, so I'm going to give him the parry ability. I'm also going to give that feat to him as well, because why would your NPC have the there can be only one feat and he doesn't get it. So he's going to have that too. Yeah. He's going to have the aggressive trait. He's going to have the berserk trait. And he has the purple sword. So to add on to this, so I'm thinking you have your NPC, this guy. He's going around killing people. You know, he's got to go and kill all these immortals. So I think with the Vorpal sword, so these monsters that you got to fight, you can decapitate them fine. But when it comes to your boy, the Kurgan, you have to, in order to defeat him, you have to decapitate him. So you have to roll a 20 in order to defeat him. It's the only way to kill an immortal. And I thought that would be so cool and so frustrating. Yeah. He could pop into situations in your game and you're fighting him and you're just not getting that 20. Yeah. You know? And you might have to
just like Ramirez back in the day.
Yeah.
19 or something he got.
Yeah.
Cut him right across the front and give him that bitchin' scar.
Yeah. Yep. Cool scar.
Oh, and his sword has that, like, those spikes. It's like the sword breaker spikes?
Yeah. It's so cool. Yeah. And he does that, like, move.
Yeah.
So cool. And he knew that
and he does, and he's charismatic.
Cool. And he's charismatic. Everything. Yeah. Okay.
Better to burn out than to fade away.
Nice. Oh, that's so good. Yeah. I love that. Yeah, so I think that's about it for my Kurgan. About it. I spent like an hour on that. But yeah, that's Kurgan. Cool, man. I think with our things combined, you can make an awesome campaign out of it.
Yeah, you can do a campaign out of all of this, yeah.
That's an easy one. You find your mentor. You find the guy that's off the immortal. He's fighting these people. Yeah. And then you can join him. You can get trained in the ways too. Maybe that NPC is actually a bad guy, and you have to fight him as well. And then you guys all have to fight the Kurgan. However you want to play it, sounds awesome.
A crazy idea here. Yep. Even maybe you don't tell the party that they're immortals.
Oh. Awesome.
And they find out through fights they should die and they're not.
He should have died.
I say he's got the devil in him.
And then then their mentor finds them and tells them what's going on.
Just like in the movie, because McLeod gets stabbed and he's like,
by the Dark Knight, by the Kurgan.
I don't know what happened.
And he gets kicked out by his clan. He gets kicked out. It's an awesome origin story. Yeah.
And it's quick.
Oh yeah, because it's a devil's work.
Yeah, and I love it too. They don't go, oh, we're gonna. The editing is great in the movie too, because they don't just start with that. It's like
it's jumping back and flashbacks. Great. You get pieces of McLeod all throughout history. It's a cool movie.
It's very cool. The pacing is.
He saves the girl Rachel, who was later on in the movie as a girl who was like a curator of the.
It wasn't until like viewing 30 that I figured that out.
Yeah, it's so he finds the little girl and then holds on to her as he's shot in the back by a Nazi, back to killing Nazis again.
Oh, Nazi. Oh my god, dude. We're gonna have to figure out how to incorporate.
Does the next movie have to have killer Nazis in it?
It's gonna have to.
Nein! Erst musst du mich erschießen!
Whatever you say, Jack. You're the master race.
Alright, cool. So that's it. So I think that's gonna be the end of our little program here. So yeah, remember, like and subscribe, comment, tell us what you thought about, and I hope, and if you were watching Highlander for the first time because of this,
let us know what you think.
And yeah, use some of this stuff, man.
And if you do, let us know how it went down. Absolutely.
Yeah. And maybe we'll give you an update if we decide to do a campaign like this.
How many Nazis did you kill with a vorpal sword?
How many Nazis did you kill with a vorpal sword? That's a double drink. But hey, I'm Grant.
I'm Colin.
And remember, roll one for fun.